Welcome back, class. We're going to talk about elements and how they are organized on the periodic table. So the first things that we need to know are what are groups and what are periods. Well, groups are vertical columns on the periodic table. We also call them families. And we'll discuss a little bit more about that in the following slides. Periods are the horizontal rows. Okay, so here's an example of a vertical column. We have lithium, sodium, potassium. Okay, so this is group 1, and this is also known as a group or family. So what we want to do on here is I'm going to let you go ahead and find these. The nice thing about groups and periods is you can use them as kind of like a coordinate system, like math, in order to find it. So we're going to find group 2, period 3. So group 2 is here. Period 3 is Mg. It's magnesium. So go ahead and try to find group 17, period 5. I have it as iodine. And let's find lead. Lead is Pb. I don't like lead in my peanut butter. I'm going to say it's group 14, and it is period 6. So if you went to group 14 and period 6, you would find lead every single time. Now, let's talk about the types of elements on our periodic table, because we have 4 different types. We have metals, nonmetals, metalloids. Metalloids. It's a fun name to say. You should say it a few times. And then noble gases. So, metals are good electrical and heat conductors. They're shiny, so they have a good luster. Luster is the property that we're talking about. Malleable means that they can be hammered and bent into shapes. Ductile means you can pull it into a fine wire. And then tensile strength means that as you pull it, it's not likely to break. Our examples, or an example for that, is gold. Look at that giant gold nugget. If you had that, hey, you know what? You'd be pretty darn wealthy. Our next ones are nonmetals. They are not good conductors of electricity or heat. They're poor conductors. And their properties, they tend to be brittle. They're not malleable. They're not ductile. So everything that a metal is, a nonmetal is not. An example is sulfur. Look at that. It's kind of a nice, pretty green. If any of you have well water at the house, sulfur is the reason that it might smell like eggs. Metalloids. Now, metalloids are kind of where we get a little bit into our trickiness, okay, because they have characteristics of metals and nonmetals. They are called semiconductors. So they are solids at room temperature. They're not as malleable as metals, but they're not as brittle as nonmetals. So they fall right in the middle. And then again, they are semiconductors for electricity. Here is a great list of them. Okay, they make up what is called the stair step. Okay, they make up the stair step on the periodic table. And our last group is the noble gases. They are generally unreactive. So I always say, hey, I told a joke about the noble gases. I got no reaction. So their properties are that they're a gas at room temp. Okay, neon, we know as neon lights. The funny thing about that is a lot of those colors are not neon. Each gas has its own color that it actually lights up when you put a electrical current through it. So we got a nice little checkpoint. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and take that, thinking about your notes. We'll go over that in about 5 seconds if you want to go ahead and pause it. All right, and welcome back. So what's a good conductor of both heat and electric? Well, that is metals. The ability to resist breaking when pulled is known as tensile strength. Which type of elements tend to be brittle and not malleable or ductile? That would be nonmetals. And finally, group 18 is known as noble gases. Besides neon, list another element that would be classified as a noble gas. Well, that would be helium, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. Hey, that's the end of 1.3. I hope you guys have a pretty good understanding of metals, metalloids, nonmetals, noble gases, as well as the coordinate system that's built into our periodic tables. If you have any questions, just let me know.